Lewis Hamilton had to retire from the Belgian Grand Prix after a crash with Fernando Alonso. Lewis Hamilton has been called "stupid" by former Formula One driver Christian Danner after the Mercedes star crashed into Fernando Alonso in the first lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. The seven-time world champion was sent airborne from the accident, and the damage forced the Briton to retire while the Alpine man was able to recover to finish an impressive fifth. The incident came as the former McLaren teammates jostled for position down the Kemmel Straight. The pair had quickly passed Sergio Perez, who had struggled for grip off the start line. Hamilton had looked to have stolen a march on his rival with an easy pass on the cards for P2 in the race, however turned in too early, giving Alonso nowhere to go and causing the collision. Tensions rose between the two drivers in the aftermath of the crash, with the Spaniard labeling Hamilton an idiot who only knows how to drive and start from first. He was also seen wagging his finger at the 37-year-old on the next lap as the British driver stood next to the battered remains of his Mercedes. Hamilton's response was to say he didn't really care what Alonso had to say about him, but conceded that the crash was his fault, stating he didn't see the Alpine as Alonso was in his blind spot. Now, ex-Formula One driver Danner has weighed into the debate, launching a passionate tirade against the 103-time race winner and his justification for the incident. Of course, he was solely to blame, the German, who made 36 starts in F1, told Sport 1. He made the move and then said it's not his fault because he was in the blind spot. Is he crazy? He saw him, overtook him and drove into his car, and then says he didn't see him. So either his short-term memory has suffered or he can't bring himself to admit that it was just stupid. Hamilton has received support from veteran Sky Sports pundit Martin Brundle, who believes Alonso's original comments were unfair, although somewhat understandable given the intense stress of being in the cockpit. Writing for Sky Sports, Brundle said, "Lewis said he couldn't see Fernando in his blind spot, but frankly he was bound to be there somewhere, and the Spaniard tried his best to stay to the inside and give space. Lewis saw the footage and immediately put his hand up and correctly accepted full responsibility." Fernando's radio comments, albeit fueled by anger and adrenaline, about Lewis only being able to win from the front were in my opinion wholly inaccurate and unfair. Lewis is one of the fairest and cleanest drivers in the history of F1. He hasn't needed to resort to too many professional fouls given his relentless speed, and just cast your mind back to Brazil last year to remember how he can scythe through the field. Twice, Hamilton and Alonso will have the perfect opportunity to settle their differences on track at the Dutch Grand Prix this weekend.